During that time, my best friend, he was in the trucking business, and he said,
Really?
why don't you go buy a box truck, put it on over at, there's a gentleman, Mike, that we know, put it on over at his warehouse, and, do it for an investment. I was like, sure. So the next day, knowing me, I'm like, hey, don't stop me from doing something that's
That
going to make some money.
entrepreneurial spirit, huh?
Yep. So I was over at the truck lot the next day and, hey, I want to test drive a box truck. And guy gave me the key and I got in the box truck and I was like, about to throw up driving down 435 in Kansas City because it was a spring ride truck. And I was bouncing all the way down and I didn't know how to shift the gears. He told me nothing about it, but I guess.
So you're telling me you jumped in the truck?
By myself. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. I guess he thought I knew what I was looking for and was a truck driver. I don't know, but I pulled off the first exit, whipped it back around, and I was like, all right, it was really bouncy, I was like, I don't know about this. And so he's like, oh, you probably need an air ride. I didn't test drive the next truck. I just said, okay, give me the air ride. We got a truck and put it on the road, put it on over at Mike's warehouse. And that was
fast, huh?
It was quick. But
Are you an overthinker?
Definitely. Oh yeah.
Really?
Definitely. Yes.
What's the pluses and minuses for your business?
Overthinking to the point of I like perfection. I kind of like to know perfect scenario set up before getting into something, I guess, so to say. Of course, it's a plus because it means you're, trying to do the best you can at the job or whatever you're trying to accomplish. But negative side is sometimes instead of just putting your feet in the water, getting wet, you're overthinking a little bit before you just dive in and do it. Right. So it definitely has its pluses and minuses.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Beyond Potential Podcast. We're so excited to come back to you with information that's helpful to you and your business, with the idea that hopefully you'll take something important away from this podcast. Right now, I'm so excited to have with me a titan in the trucking industry, a very successful businesswoman, Miss Vicki Flowers. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
No, it's good to have you here. Finally got you. You got a tight schedule.
Finally.
Yeah.
Always make room for you, though.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We're going to just break down a lot of information that I know that you work with each and every day as it relates to your business, not just so much in trucking, but just in business in general. And so we're hoping that any slight information that our viewers or listeners can get from it, that just in their general business practice can help them. But first of all, who is Vicki Flowers? Tell me a little bit about who Vicki Flowers is.
Okay, who is Vicki Flowers? Okay, I'm a mother of two, first of all. So I have two sweet children. I have an 18-year-old daughter, 17-year-old son. They keep me busy. My daughter just graduated, so she's moving on to the next chapter.
Oh, wow.
They've both played sports all their life, so we've been busy traveling with sports and doing sports year round. So, but that's me in a nutshell. And then on the other side is the businesswoman. So,
Now, how do you juggle the two?
That's a good question. Just trying to be organized daily, knowing your schedule, having a planner, got everything written down in it. I'm very pen and paper, old school. I like to see everything in front of me and just putting everything on the book. But yeah, I would just say keeping organized, to keep it going. So don't overcommit yourself, which I do quite often, but somehow it always works out. But
Are you an overthinker?
definitely. Oh yeah.
Really?
Definitely. Yes.
What's the pluses and minuses for your business?
Overthinking to the point of I like perfection. I kind of like to know perfect scenarios set up before getting into something, I guess, so to say. Of course, it's a plus because it means you're, trying to do the best you can at the job or whatever you're trying to accomplish. But negative side is sometimes instead of just putting your feet in the water, getting wet, you're overthinking a little bit before you just dive in and do it. Right. So it definitely has its pluses and minuses to it.
Okay, got you. Now, before becoming a trucking magnate, what were you doing?
Complete opposite of trucking, I'll tell you that.
Really?
So start back, let's just go back even to like early days, college.
Let's go to early days.
Let's go early days.
Okay.
I definitely was an entrepreneur before I even was 10 years old, let's just say that. So my mind was always in the mindset of, I'm from Kansas City, so I'm just going to put that out there. I'm a Kansas City girl.
Oh, KC Chiefs, huh?
Yes, go Mahomes. So anyways, but yeah, started young. My mindset was probably just a little different. If I went to a Kansas City Royals game, I was in the stadium picking up all the plastic cups at the end of the games because I'm going to go have a Kool-Aid stand that weekend, and I'm going to have souvenir cups and sell them for more than the person down the street for a quarter. So,
oh, wow.
So I would say that was probably the start of my mind frame, but I just always worked hard growing up. And when I got to going to college, I really wanted to study kinesiology. I'm very much into working out, keeping in shape. So I was definitely interested in getting into sports medicine. Started at K-State, came back home because I wanted to work. I wanted to make money, and I just had opportunities. And so came back home. I did continue education, but I did it locally. And then I did marketing for Gold's Gyms. At that time, they had 6 in the Kansas City area. 4 of them were regular Gold's Gyms, 2 were just women's clubs. And so I used to do the marketing for all of the clubs, put on their events, try to get new clients, etc. So I did that for quite a few years. From there, I started a cleaning business. Did that, and that kind of evolved because during high school, my family had, my aunt and uncle, they had a cleaning business, and so it worked well with my schedule. I did sports, and I could go at nighttime and work for the company. So that's kind of where that came from. Did that for a while, and then I was a retail girl, and I ended up going into running a retail store, traveled a little bit. I would set up or go in and help underperforming stores get, back up to where they need to be compliance-wise and stuff like that. I did that for probably about 8 years. During the time that I did work retail, I ended up buying a salon for an individual who was selling it, and I kind of did some work for her on the side as well, and so she had offered it to me. So I bought the salon. I still worked retail because I loved it. I was fashion girl, and I loved my job. I loved who I worked with. And so anyways, I had the salon. I was operating it. And eventually I moved over into my salon, just operating that full time. And had that for 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, quite a while. Totally turned that around. We did quite a bit with it. And during that time, my best friend, he was in the trucking business, and he said, why don't you go buy a box truck, put it on over at, there's a gentleman, Mike, that we know, put it on over at his warehouse, and, do it for an investment. I was like, sure. So the next day, knowing me, I'm like, hey, don't stop me from doing something that's going to make some money.
That entrepreneurial spirit, huh?
Yep. So I was over at the truck lot the next day, and hey, I want to test drive a box truck, and guy gave me the key, and I got in the box truck, and I was like about to throw up driving down 435 in Kansas City because it was a spring ride truck, and I was bouncing all the way down, and I didn't know how to shift the gears. He told me nothing about it, but I guess.
So you're telling me you jumped in the truck
by myself? Yep.
Wow.
Yep. I guess he thought I knew what I was looking for and was a truck driver. I don't know, but I pulled off the first exit, whipped it back around, and I was like, it was really bouncy, I was like, I don't know about this. And so he's like, oh, you probably need an air ride. I didn't test drive the next truck. I just said, okay, give me the air ride. We got a truck and put it on the road, put it on over at Mike's warehouse. And that was
fast, huh?
It was quick. Yeah. I didn't think too much about it.
What prompted you to make those decisions that fast? What information had you received that you could pull the trigger? Or is it just your personality?
Partially my personality. I was younger then, so I probably didn't do as much due diligence, right?
Okay.
But also my best friend who was in the business, I watched him for years run and operate his business. And so I definitely had insight on, the money he was making, what he was doing route wise. So the gentleman whose warehouse we were putting it at, it wasn't like anybody knew or that I wasn't familiar with. So
you had pretty much information to go off of.
I did, yeah. I didn't really have a lot of trucking information. Like I had to research everything. Like, okay, how do I go in and get my DOT or MC or like how to, be compliant? I definitely had to research that. I didn't ask my friend for any help. I just started reaching, looking, researching it, and pulled it together. And we were on the road.
Wow.
Yeah.
And started with one truck.
One truck. Yep. One truck. And I had the salon. We did that for quite some time. But within 6 months, I was over at FedEx Smart Post, and we had several trucks then at that time. We ended up having to go out and rent like 12 trucks because got a contract. And anyways, that goes into a different ballgame. But it opened quickly. The doors did. I did a little bit of research, and I remember my buddy saying, "Man, I've been doing this 20 years, and you've like outgrown me in less than 6 months."
What was that like, that growth? How did you trigger that what you were able to do that he wasn't?
He's in the truck driving, and he's daily busy on the phone trying to book his next load, try to get to the shipper or receiver. I was at my salon. I was working, but I was also in front of the computer, and I had more access to like researching stuff,
information.
And I'm also, that's probably comes with me, the entrepreneurial mind is like, okay, if this truck is making this much money, if I have 10 trucks making that much money, now it's a different ball game. So you start looking at that kind of stuff, and it excites you, to try to open the next door. So.
Okay, good. So basically it was your ability to research and to take things to a next level. So that meant your thinking is, I don't need to be in a truck. I need to be on the opposite side of creating additional revenue and what have you. Because just in business in general, that principle would apply that you can't do it all.
Of course.
Can't do it all. Wow.
Yeah.
Did the 10-year-old Vicki see herself doing this?
No, absolutely
really?
not.
Why not?
The today me doesn't see me doing trucking sometimes. So no, I love sports. I love fashion. So I'm in a completely whole different world of what I'm used to. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm definitely. And I mean, now I think where it's very different for me is I office out of the house. I work out of the house all day. I'm used to being out like in the public, speaking to people, getting dressed daily, stuff like that, just kind of being out and about a little bit more. So I do miss that part of it. But
so how did your family adjust to the Vicki that was always suited and booted, so to speak, to trucking? How did the family see it?
I think they're okay with it, but they're part of the reason why I stayed in that zone though for a long time. When I moved to Texas, it was just kind of a new fresh start, lots of opportunity here. That's when my trucking took off. When I was in Kansas City, it was just something on the side, a side hustle to make some more money, and then it grew. Once I got to Texas, whole different ball game with trucks. I mean, you drive down the road and you see more trucks than you see vehicles sometimes, depending on the highway. So it definitely pushed me in that direction. But like I say, it was just me down here. I didn't have any family. I just, I had to kind of start over. My kids play sports, but what it allowed me to do is work from home. I was able to take my kids to school every day, pick them up from school, go to all their games. I could volunteer for field trips. I never missed a beat with my kids. And so I shifted because that was more important for me to be in my kids' life than to go and dress up and be in the office. If I go in the office all day and I'm 8 to 5, I'm going to miss the field trip. I'm going to miss picking up from school. So
you were talking about the advantages of entrepreneurship, and for listeners that are contemplating starting their own business, what advice or what are the pluses you see in being an entrepreneur?
Definitely pluses would be setting your schedule, I would say, so to say. I mean, I am on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But if I have my phone, I can work from wherever. So if I've got, if I want to go somewhere, go enjoy something.
Because you travel a lot.
We travel a lot. Yeah, we travel quite a bit. So we definitely don't say no to traveling. So. But now, do I bring my work with me? Yes. I don't know the last time I traveled without bringing my work with me. But that's okay because some people don't get to travel. So so I'm blessed in that part. So
great.
But I would say being an entrepreneur is definitely a blessing. Definitely go for it. I just think you can find balance between work and life with it. And just because I take my books or my computer with me when I'm out of town doesn't mean the next entrepreneur has to. I mean, I'm probably the crazy entrepreneur that doesn't like pass off some of the tasks, and I want to have control of what's going on daily.
Gotcha.
I definitely think there's ways that you can have somebody else take over in the office and still be an entrepreneur. So you can find a balance in that.
Let me ask you this: with AI integration and back office, have you started to work on including integration into your business?
Absolutely.
What's the
Yes.
importance of that?
You definitely have to learn it because it's going to be the future, whether we like it or not.
Really?
Definitely. Advantage, I mean, I can get a lot done very quickly.
Right.
I just, on my way here, got on there and put in what I needed for something, and I got it within 2 seconds and printed it off, and I brought
Wow.
it to the table.
Perfect.
Before that, I might have to call, have somebody type me up something, right? And if they're busy, it might take a day to get it. So
Okay.
it's definitely, and I would say I have a couple different business adventures. It definitely helps across the board
Okay.
on a lot of different businesses, and it saves you a lot of money.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
It saves a lot of
Yeah.
time and money.
The
Yes.
beautiful thing about it, a lot of people complain about the new AI and the different apps, Claude or Chat GPT. But the thing is that it doesn't replace people. It just gets you information faster. And especially in business today, if you're utilizing faster information, that increases revenue.
It does. Yep. Time
It
is money,
increases
right?
revenue. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I definitely
So
agree.
now you're entrepreneurship, you're enjoying the trucking industry, but you're getting ready to make a shift, not so much from trucking, but you're planning on making a shift, and you're looking to start training people now. Tell me a little bit about that.
I am about to start training. Over the years, so I've been in trucking now well over 10 years.
Okay.
Over the course of time, I get a lot of people calling me, asking me questions. Hey, I'll pay you, to sit down with me and help me with my business. I've never asked anybody, for money on that aspect, but I am about to shift a little bit where we do offer some training. You can take our course. We can do some one-on-one coaching, but we're also going to put a spin on it, and it's going to be a lifestyle along with trucking. So we're not
Okay.
it's not just trucking. This is going to be for anybody who wants to follow us.
Okay.
We're going to talk about things across the board that I think are important in life that maybe we don't get direction on. And so we're definitely going to cover a broad basis with us. But
Now,
I
when
mean,
you say talking about, what in particular will you be doing?
okay, so give you some examples. Like, and I'm kind of doing this more for my, out of personality, things that I love, and I'm gonna put it all together, right? So I can.
Do you is something that you have titled?
Yeah. So the focus is going to be called Covering Grounds.
Covering
Okay.
grounds. Wow.
So Covering Grounds. And that came from, let me tell you, about 6 years ago, give or take, I started a nonprofit, and it's called Covering Grounds for Athletes.
Okay.
The purpose of that is we're driving trucks. We're going to, every mile we cover, we are going to donate to athletes. So if, there's children out there that need uniforms or need, help with registering for camps, or so be it, whatever they need, that's what we're going to be there for.
Athletes. Huh?
Yeah.
Why?
So-
Why athletes?
Because I love sports. So
Okay,
I'm a
okay.
sports girl. So yeah, I'm a sports girl. So it's going to combine, work into kind of what I love as well. So
Is it that you see a lot of young athletes without the ability to perhaps pay for fees? Is it a derivative out of that?
a little bit. So actually, it really kind of stemmed from something. When I was growing up, I lived in California for about 3 years. I used to, when I would get out of school, I used to they would pick me up on a bus, and I would go to like a Care Youth League after school. And it was a sports program, but it was also involved in that sports league. We also had like training, like lifestyle training. So it was an all female league. And so we played sports year round. So we'd play flag football, we'd play softball, track. We did pretty much everything. But included in that, we learned like how to cook, just skills were taught to us,
Okay.
We might have Bible study, we had cooking, all kinds of different things, how to do your hair, how to do your makeup. And it always stuck with me. I loved getting on the bus and
Okay.
going, and they dropped me off. And so it kind of stemmed from that, because when I was going to college, I was going into kinesiology, but at the end of the day, my dream was to open something in the inner city that was kind of focused on that
Helping.
aspect of
Right.
it. So kind of stemmed from that, but my kids play sports, and so as a mother and watching them play, it is expensive. And there are sometimes athletes who can't play club or they can't get their new shoes, and so there's no right or wrong to it or what we offer. It's just if there's a child out there that wants to get some extra training or whatever, we're gonna work with them or find somebody who can work with them.
Okay.
So that was the purpose of it.
So under covering grounds, basically you have a multifaceted structure that you're putting in place. Let's talk a little bit more about the trucking coaching. Then I'd like to go further into the covering grounds and how that will play a part in what you're doing. Let's talk about the mentorship or coaching aspect of trucking. What would that be like?
We're going to have different offerings. So if somebody just wants like a quick sneak lookbook, they're going to be able to purchase like one of our ebooks, and they can get a little manual training. If they're enticed by it, then they can move to the next level. And we will have different levels where maybe somebody just wants to purchase like a one-on-one hour with me, and they can ask whatever questions. I would advise putting your questions down, and then maybe that would determine if you are interested in trucking and what aspect of it. But we will have different courses broke down and different levels to it. Trucking has so many different avenues and lanes that you can go into. So, there's box trucks, there's 18-wheelers, there's dispatching, there's the brokerage side. There's so many opportunities. I mean, you could buy some land and rent the spaces out to truckers needing parking on EV, and so there's opportunities for people to kind of get in with their communities and set up charging stations. There's just so many different aspects in the trucking world, and it's not going anywhere. Like you see all the trucks on the road, they're not going anywhere. So I just think it's a great business, and I think you can kind of find your personality and
whichever
niche you
area
want to
in it.
Now, and so that's.
I remember talking to you earlier this week as we were preparing for the interview. You're also going to be reaching out and targeting and helping individuals that perhaps have been recently incarcerated, that find it very difficult to get jobs, or individuals that are just struggling to make ends meet, that can transition into trucking through helping them locate trucks or licensing and schooling and what have you. Tell a little bit more about that and how you would be able to help those individuals.
Okay, yeah, there's lots of individuals out here that need to find a way, right? And maybe a second chance, right? Maybe they don't have all the credentials, but there is placement out there. And I would say trucking is one of the industries where you don't so much have to have a perfect, clean background. You just have to have the work ethic and want to do it. So whether, and it's really going to determine whether you have, what your finances are and what aspect you can go into. But I guess that's the beauty of trucking too, is like you can start with having little money, or you can have a lot of money and pick your direction. So that's one of the things that we'll really get into. But as far as the second chances, yes, there's lots of opportunities out there that definitely I would say it's a good way to get your foot in the ground. And you can really build, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you can start, get your foot in the door, learn the business, and you can really expand and own your own business one day. And, and the sky's the limit, on this. So.
And you'll also be teaching brokering, correct?
Yeah, we'll be doing that too as well.
Okay. How does that typically work, the brokering aspect of it?
Brokering is going to be, you're basically the middleman. You're the middleman between the truck and getting the product, basically. So you're administrating that contact. A lot of people do want to get into brokering. I think
it's called freight brokering or something?
Freight brokering, yes. I recommend, if you're getting into freight brokering, I would like someone to have a little bit of experience before they just jump into brokering. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but you got to think about it as you're connecting the trucks to the shipment. Okay. And I feel like to be very, successful, I think you need to kind of have a little bit of
getting in the
knowledge,
truck
a little bit on both sides of it.
Correct. Yeah, interacting with both sides.
I think it would make it easier. Now, it is possible. I know when I first moved here, I have some friends that had a trucking office, and they were brokering and they were also carriers, which is, they were delivering the freight. And that was a great setup. But the brokering side was probably the most difficult for them, and they were in the business. But at
Why
that
is that?
point, because you've got to go out and you've got to find the person who the contact is, right? That's in charge of all the shipments. So
Okay.
if I want to move freight for Target, that means I've got to come in contact with whoever is coordinator for shipping out all their product, right?
Okay.
So getting a hold of that person is going to be your key. And so it's a lot of legwork, basically, that you've got to get out there and make your cold calls. If you try to walk into the offices, a lot of the times, it's hard to just, can't walk in and just get the boss
do
of
that
everything,
anymore. Yeah.
So it's a lot of phone calls. But I really, I'm a relationship. I really believe in relationships is kind of the key to a lot of things in business. So
Okay.
I do think if you get your foot in the door with trucking, brokering, once you build your relationships, it makes it a little bit easier, right? To go in there and say, hey, I'm about to move over into brokering. How about I move your loads for you? I think it's a little bit easier. Or you connect with, some smaller businesses and, that works that way too.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Now, your programs are typically structured, like you say, you have kind of a tier level to it. You said ebooks,
We're going to have some ebooks.
courses.
We're going to have some courses.
What would be the typical time frame an individual? How long would it take someone to really hit the ground running and get in the truck and go and start making money? What does that look like?
I mean, you can go as fast as you can go pretty quickly if you want to. If you study and you follow the program quickly, you can get in and get out there.
So
making
you can
money.
go from broke to zero pretty quickly to
You
employment.
can. I would like for them to kind of make sure they understand all of it. I mean, biggest thing is compliancy, so make sure that you're compliant across the board.
Okay.
So that's going to be one of our main teachings is whatever division of trucking you're going into, we're going to make sure you're compliant. So you've got to start off compliant from the beginning, or it's going to be a rough road ahead. Not rough, but it can cost you a lot of money and time, that you just don't want to spend doing.
Now, do you help place them with trucking schools that are reputable? Do you do that as well?
Yeah, if somebody needs to get their CDL, we have some schools that we're going to work with that we can definitely suggest to them and work with. If they need to get a truck, we're going to pair them with some companies to, get on and, once again, kind of depending on finances, stuff like that, where to direct you. We're going to do the compliancy side. We're not doing it for you. We're showing you how to be compliant, basically. And then also anything, insurance, setting up your logging devices, your drug consortium, everything that you need, you're going to learn in this in these courses. And there's definitely there'll be more of an elite program that it's a little bit more one-on-one. If you feel like, hey, I can just take this and learn it on my own. If you need maybe some additional personal phone calls, you can, get that as well.
And you can walk them through it. Perfect.
And then we're also going to have kind of a like a monthly membership that's going to be more so just following what we've got going on. And like I say, that's where the broad picture is going to come in, where we're going to be, doing like updates, any kind of updates with the trucking industry. But then we're going to do some fun stuff too. We're going to have some interviews or trucking scenarios that can happen, because every day I couldn't make up the stuff that I hear that happens. And you'll be like, how? I can't make this up daily. But we're going to make it fun, and we're going to make it where you're learning too. That's kind of comes back to the younger days of, let's put in some life skills with this too. While we're making money, let's figure out how to manage our money. If you're interested in, let's say, trust or stocks or building your credit, wellness, working out, we're going to incorporate a lot of different aspects.
Of information that helps them succeed in life. Wow, that's unique. That's different. Yeah.
So that's kind of where the covering grounds is coming in. We're going to cover a lot of grounds in this. We're going to cover grounds of being an entrepreneur or making money, but we're going to cover life skills along with it. And if somebody wants to learn something, we're going to find a way to put it on the show and get it out there, and we're all going to learn together. If we
You said show. What type of show?
We're going to have a show. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So covering grounds, we're going to have a show. One of the shows is going to be called Roads to Riches.
Now, is that a podcast?
It'll be a podcast.
Oh, nice. I hope to get on it one day.
Yeah. Well, you will be. You might be the first guest.
Oh, yes. I love it. I love it. Let's talk about that. That's exciting. That's a nice lunch. Okay. You're really shifting then.
We're shifting. We're shifting all the way.
Okay.
Yep, we're shifting. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
So let's talk about the Covering Grounds podcast. And so you said it's designed to really cover a lot of different facets in an individual's life. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of expound on that.
Okay, so of course we're based on trucking, but we're also based on entrepreneurship.
Because covering grounds, you're driving across
You're
country.
driving across the road. Yep.
Gotcha,
Covering
okay.
every mile. So we're going to cover miles together, and we're going to cover life together. So whatever you're needing in
Now,
life.
is this just for truckers or?
Nope, it's going to be for anybody. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
kind of where this covering grounds is. It's going to be a wide blank.
So you're building a community.
building a community. Yes,
Awesome,
exactly.
awesome.
Yeah.
So you're inviting individuals to join your community and have that one-on-one type of relationship within the community. Oh, that's
Of course,
awesome.
yeah. And that's honestly probably the most exciting part of this adventure for me, because I feel like I can kind of tap into some, what do you want to say, things that I love in life,
Okay.
but just teachings like along the way. But I think all of it is going to be centered around how to make ourselves better, right?
Okay.
And we don't always have time to go research everything that we really want to learn, right? So I just coming into here, your partner said he does trust, and that's one of the things that's on the list that I would love to teach people, or
Right.
not teach, or we'll have somebody come
Have
in
access
that's
to
gonna
the trust,
access to
right.
that. Yeah, it's like, okay, you're out here driving in your truck, and truck drivers are very hard workers. Okay, the world would not survive without trucks moving our
At
freight.
all,
Okay,
at all.
So, and I don't think they get recognition for what they do, but
Only the bad when we
Yeah,
see a
only the-
accident or something like that, or a
Exactly.
rock hit your windshield.
Yep, you're mad at the truck driver, but they
Right.
put in countless hours, and
Yes,
we
they
have
do.
toilet paper on our shelves because they're moving it from
That's true.
a warehouse to the shelves.
Well, you
so.
need to start a truck driving award show.
Yeah, I would like to. I definitely want to commend
Acknowledge.
these drivers, right?
Oh.
That's part of this is we're going to have drivers that we're, supporting and
Right.
recognizing, because they do put a lot of work in. And
They
you
do.
think
They do.
you're sheltered out there. You're in a truck by
We
yourself.
really never pay attention to that as individuals. We just kind of take it for granted.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think so. It is, yeah.
Yeah.
My grandfather was a truck driver for Sears. But so one thing, so kind of weird, but I never envisioned being in the trucking business. But every time when I was little, I used to drive with my grandmother. We would pass an 18-wheeler. She always made me toot the horn,
Toot the horn.
I don't see that anymore. I don't know if anybody.
Do they make horns anymore?
I don't even, I think the old ones do, but it's she'd have me in they used to always toot their horn,
Right.
But I do think truck drivers need their horns tooted a little bit because
Right.
they do a lot of work, and they need to definitely be recognized.
That's
But
awesome.
in the aspect of that, they're in the trucks by themselves, let's have a show that's fun and lively, and you're learning and you're laughing, and you're like, oh, I'm not the only one who's experiencing this craziness, and we're going to have different stories, and good, bad, ugly, whatever.
Right.
It's all going to be inside of this, and it may
Awesome.
not be for everybody, but it's going to be for everybody. So
Right.
if you're an entrepreneur or not an entrepreneur, I think you would enjoy getting on the show, and we might
And learning from it.
we might get up in the morning and do a workout together or something. Who knows? Or
Right.
make some juices to pack in your refrigerator so you're healthy while you're along the road. So we're going to be doing a lot of different things.
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. What made you want to bring this to life now?
I've been for years, honestly, being said that I wanted to kind of get into this and do the teaching side of it. I think honestly, I've been writing these notes down. The funny thing
You're
is,
one of those that got a lot of notes?
I have a lot of notes. I have a book full of notes in my bag next to me right now. I write down a
Okay.
lot. I journal a lot, take a lot of notes. But I think when me and my boyfriend chat at nighttime started talking, we've been coming up
your boyfriend, Chat GPT.
GPT. Yeah, that's my nighttime
Oh
partner.
my goodness, yeah.
But
My daughter the other day was saying, I had a long conversation with my guy. Your guy, Chat. Oh, okay.
Yep,
Got
I
it.
can rely on chat every day, any time of
Okay.
the day. Chat's coming through for me. So
Awesome.
but I would say I was doing a lot of back and forth with Chad on some business ideas, and I think we kind of just came together and it just clicked one day of
Okay.
what direction I want to go. So
Awesome.
and that's kind of what started it, and I just
So
started building it from there.
You have 10 toes in, huh?
We're all in.
You're
Why
all
not,
in.
right? Yep.
Awesome, awesome.
Yep. I don't have the perfect game plan, but we're going in. We're getting our feet wet and we're doing it. So
But that's kind of what entrepreneurship is all about, isn't it?
it is. Yeah, it is.
It's jumping in, having a vision, having a dream, and acting on it, right?
Yeah, it is.
I don't
yeah.
think anyone famous or unfamous, that got into business and they had all the answers.
Exactly. Yeah, I think so.
You kind of have to build as you go, and that in itself is very inspiring. How do you feel about it overall?
I'm excited. I'm actually really excited. Yeah, I'm excited. It should be fun. Just because I think there's not a cap on what we're doing makes it beautiful that we can bring in different aspects of it, and there's no right or wrong to it. So we're just going to be covering grounds 1 mile at a time, 1 day at a time.
I like that.
And figuring it out. So there's not a exact, there is a direction, but it can shift a little bit if we want to, right? We can take a right turn or left turn and we're still going down the road, right? Covering ground as we go. So I'm excited.
Now, what do you plan to as your legacy? How does covering ground fit into that?
It's a big part of it, actually. So that was part of the vision, is what can I do that 10, 20 years from now I can look back and I can still be doing it, or people following or wanting to, hey, what's Vicki doing, or what are we speaking about today? So I think that's where the legacy comes, is we're going to put this together, and this isn't short term. This is going to be something that we're going to do for years to come, and we're just going to keep expanding it. The world keeps evolving day to day, so we're going to evolve with it, and we're going to teach and learn and grow together. Yeah.
What's the mission? So if I was to ask you about a mission statement, what would you say that is?
I have it written down somewhere, but to have it exactly.
Just, just
but
your
yeah,
mission.
I would
your
say,
mission, not
in my words, would be bringing together a platform where anybody, it doesn't just have to be truckers, but that is what our focus is kind of around, but bringing together entrepreneurs who want to learn, grow, succeed, and be a better version of themselves is what our mission statement is. So anybody's welcome.
And so your goal is really to reach the individuals and help them to go to the next phase in life. Now, is that just not necessarily entrepreneurs or truck drivers, but that's everyone, right?
It's everybody, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
definitely. So if
you're covering a pretty broad market.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it could be anybody who just wants some inspiration. Said I've kind of across the board had multiple different businesses, from retail to, franchising. I did a boxing franchise, to cleaning, to real estate, to trucking. So serial entrepreneur. So anybody who's wanting to, doesn't have to be an entrepreneur, but just day to day and wanting to learn and grow and balance life, I think can get on and jump on, and we'll definitely learn from it.
Awesome. That's awesome. When is your ideal date? You like to get everything kicked off?
I would say within the next 3 to 4 weeks, we should be kicking off.
Oh, so
pretty quickly. Yeah, we're just doing kind of your back end office, tidying everything up. I have to kind of keep in the back of my head that it doesn't have to be perfect to just put it out there.
That's true.
We'll tweak as we go.
Well, look at us. We just jumped in, 10 toes in, and we went forward. And again, like you, we wanted to just teach, share, and everything that we've learned over the years, where individuals can get, whether it's just one idea.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about it, is knowing in the comments what people have to say and that you've helped them. That's exciting.
Yeah,
so
love that.
covering grounds 20 years from now, what do you see? 20 years from now.
It's going to be an entire ecosystem, basically, because I've got some different levels of different things that I'm definitely going to incorporate in there.
Okay.
Those will be, revealed as we go along, but, one step at a time. But it's going to be like a huge media center for everything, and it's going to be something people are going to, everybody's going to be able to join and be part of, and I think it's exciting, yeah.
That's
I think
good.
I think it's
That's
fun.
good.
And
That's good.
the
How do
part
you
of it that's
go ahead.
exciting, I would say, sorry not to cut you off,
No, you're
is
good.
this is like true, like I'm not just jumping in and saying, hey, I'm going to teach you something that I've never done. This is all genuine experience that we're going to be talking about, you know, and we will be talking about things that I don't know as well, and I'm going to research and, provide information for. But in a day-to-day, this is me, this is who I am, you're going to get the real version of somebody who's been in the industry and, been around doing it, the good ups and downs of it, so.
Going back to the trucking aspect of it, the economy from time to time shift. What would you tell individuals who have economy concern?
Yeah, I would say you, just like any other business, you've got to save while you're building. You've got to save, yeah. And that's maybe where this teachings come in, where it's like, okay, while you're saving, let's put some money into some stocks, or let's get some other sources going.
Other revenue coming in.
that we can weather the storm together whenever it does shift, because it does shift. We are just kind of coming out of like a 2-year horrible space in trucking, and it has
with
shifted.
the trade, I mean, not the trade, but the tariffs and everything.
Yes, tariffs, fuel pricing, kind of after COVID times. During COVID, a lot of the pricing went up. So to go get your truck fixed and repairs and everything just kind of like
But
went
trucking's
up.
not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. They need to give us a break. They need to give us some love over here because
Cut some slack.
we've been getting hit hard, but it's turning now and the rates are getting better. They're getting good. They're actually really good. I think if somebody was wanting to get into trucking, now is a good time. It's starting to get back up there. There's a lot of money out there on the road. The fuel is still high, but I think you can compensate, on some other, on what you're moving. But yes, I do think that this will be teachings on, how to keep some money. So when you do have, experiencing these times when it is slow, how to recover from that. But there's some tricks in the trade too of the business of what you can do during those times to kind of help yourself. If that's, your only revenue stream, there will be kind of showing, hey, okay, it's starting to get bad. This is what we need to cut back on. This is what we need to do. Sometimes you have to park your truck and you have to do certain things differently, because there's times you can get out there and you can actually.
And you can show them how to,
we'll definitely
to
talk
maneuver.
About that. Yeah, we'll show them, because there's times when you can jump in your truck and you're actually paying to go move someone's freight because the rates aren't good enough and you're putting fuel in your truck, and maybe a load pays
just to keep
at
moving.
$800, but your fuel is $700.
Oh,
but
my
by the time
goodness.
you pay for your truck and your insurance and all that, you're like, whoa, I just lost $200 moving this load. So those are definitely things that we will touch on, is how to avoid that.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And people need to know that, because that's so important in business, balancing the books, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely.
So an individual that's looking to go to trucking now, how do they get in contact with you?
You can reach out to me. You can email me. You can call me, and I definitely will be there.
We'll put that information. We'll make that available in the bottom of the description. And as you begin to transition the podcast and covering grounds, just one question: how do your children feel about that?
Well, my son knows a little bit about it. I've been kind of quiet about it.
Oh, really?
So I've been kind of quiet because I do like to venture a little bit and do some different things. And so sometimes I probably look at me like, what is she doing now? So I've kind of kept this quiet. I feel like I've kept it quiet. I haven't told any of my friends or anybody. I haven't shared it really with not too many people.
Because you're building it now.
I'm building it. But for some, I have this like, I'm in love with this project.
And you want to launch it.
I want to launch it properly, but I want it to be like exciting. I kind of yesterday told a couple of people who were just not friends or anything, just like acquaintances that I see like in the salon world or whatever, and kind of known for years, and just kind of told, oh yeah, I'm doing a podcast tomorrow. And they're like, what? And they kind of asked a couple questions like, oh, I want to follow. And they're in the salon world, So I think... So I've been kind of keeping it hush, because I think once I get everything together, I'm like, I want to do like a fun launch with it. And I want it to be kind of a surprise, like to everybody. So yeah. So I'm keeping it kind of quiet.
So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
I'm going to let you make a commercial right now.
A commercial? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Talk about it. Lunch covering grounds. Yeah, let's launch it right
here. Oh, my
here.
goodness. Okay.
Hey, you're seeing this lunch. This is historical, okay?
Okay, yeah.
This is
I guess we'll
historical.
look back this in 20 years.
Yeah,
and
we're going to
like,
look back and say,
what
wait
did
a minute.
I just sign up for? Yeah.
Right.
Okay, commercial.
And now you got to keep the footage, okay?
Okay.
So now this is a commercial. How would you tell the audience or your coming YouTubers and platform what to expect coming soon?
Okay.
On the fly.
Soon.
Now this is going to be funny, of course. But just remember. Go ahead.
Okay. Alrighty. So we are about to launch covering grounds. Be ready for it, because we are going to cover so many grounds. We're going to be going mile to mile together. You're not going to want to miss it, because there's going to be some fun with it, some laughs, probably some tears with it. But we're going to go down this journey covering some grounds together. I'm going to teach you how to get into the trucking world. The podcast is going to be Roads to Riches. Is going to be the podcast. Teach you how to cover some grounds and make some money. And money is up to you, how you want to make it. So we're going to definitely go for it. And we're going to have some life skills along with it. And everybody's welcome. That's the thing, is everybody's welcome. You don't have to be a truck driver or anything. Anybody can come and join on. And I think you're going to learn a lot. So, and you can join and learn how to take this to another level with your business even. And I think you're going to enjoy it. So come on board.
Awesome. Yep. See, that's what we do here. Beyond Potential is to really encourage and enhance individuals to go to the next level. But that's exciting what you'll be doing with Covering Grounds. I know a lot of people will be able to utilize, especially within that community, the ability to tap in and get different type of expertise inside of it. So that's exciting, something to look forward to. Thanks. So, hey, we really appreciate you sitting down with us and sharing this information with our audience. Our audience, if there's anything that you could do for us, that would be dropping comments, letting us know what you benefited from this episode. And also, when you make those comments, we'll be more than happy to listen to them and act on them and bring content that you can benefit from. We really appreciate you watching. And until the next time, Beyond Potential, we'll see you soon. Thank you, Vicki, so much for being here.
No, it was so awesome. Exciting. I love it.
We got to have you back. We got to have you back. We're going to cover real soon, Covering Grounds, the lunch of it. And we like to be there with you every step of the way.
I want you to be. You will be. Yeah, excited.
If you would, tell the audience one thing an entrepreneur can benefit from that you've learned during the course of starting up businesses and what have you.
My advice is do not give up. You're going to hit the bottom at some point in time, but you cannot give up. Elon Musk slept in his car, and look at him now. So you cannot give up. Just if you have a dream, follow it.
Do not give up. Until next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.